Okay, so this is I got on Henley in Florida probably the beginning of February, and just got on, got off, got on, got off. Then the second time I got on her was in Florida, maybe a week after that. So it was probably about 6, 7 weeks ago or something. And again down in Florida, and she was on a halter and lead rope. So Jesse led her with the halter and lead rope the whole way. She's very sensible, very calm, very focused. Went about 120 feet or something. It was all very new, but very relaxed. So now we're back in Pennsylvania, and in this is the second time really I've been on her as a rider. And you'll notice a couple things. One, we have her in a halter and lead rope a halter and reins, so no lead rope. So this is a lot more independent. It's a big shift from being on a pony ride to me now being, with a virtual, connection, using the halter and the reins as the only thing, and then using the target as really the piece that can help guide her and give her support from the ground, but giving her a lot more independence. So not sure what she's going to do here now, being at I haven't been on her at the house here. You can see her herd mates are behind her, which is another piece there. And one of the things right off the bat, just trying to touch her all over in different areas. And we're kind of just getting a read on how is she? Is she focused? Is she feeling relaxed? Is she feeling tense? What is she doing? So we just begin. So she's kind of a combination between the Liberty leading, meaning she's following Jesse and knows about Liberty leading with people on the ground, and then having her be a little bit using the target if need be to keep her focused. So we kind of have that piece that can step in and help bring extra clarity if she gets a little bit lost. You see, everybody is watching her, and of course, horses that do positive reinforcement, they all want to be involved. So there can be kind of a little bit of extra attention and an extra piece of her getting distracted by them. It could be, so I'm just being aware of my surroundings. And Henley's just doing fabulous. And again, with Jesse and I, the communication is very clear and very easy. We're both very relaxed and feeling. Henley relaxed helps us to relax. Us relaxed helps Henley to relax. So as we're all kind of just talking with each other and, being able to just focus and communicate on what we're doing and what we're feeling, it's really fabulous. Okay, so Henley starts something new, which is her going on the other side of Jesse. So there she got her back to the right side. And now we start, so you can see my legs are starting to move. We talk about me kind of moving my legs around, shifting, standing up a little bit, putting just a little bit of pressure. We don't want it, if something were to happen and there was a bobble, I don't want her to all of a sudden feel this shift in her rider, or legs all of a sudden touching her, or have those things be unsettling or disturbing. So we want to prepare her for those things. So I'm moving around, I'm kind of stepping up. I want her to feel the pieces. I want to not be just, sitting like a propped up on her. I want her to feel that there is an active moving person up there. So just trying to desensitize those pieces, and she's just right as rain with all of it. But we're paying attention. If she felt tense, if she raised her head, if she seemed uneasy with it, we would slow down and process that piece a little bit slower. Or perhaps we'd get off and think, okay, let's work on this from the ground first. But she didn't. She was very good about it. She's relaxed about it. And I think what's really important to keep in mind, what we had here today was, years basically in the making. This wasn't just, oh, let's just do this today. We knew that she was in a good place about all sorts of pieces. You know, she was showing she got the training, she's interested in the training, she could focus, she wanted to do the right thing, she could be relaxed, she could focus in new situations. We knew that she was ready for this new piece before we even got on her. So I think that's really important, that this isn't just this is good, but we knew that all the pieces were in place for this to be good. This is how she should go with the rest of her training, you know, all of her under saddle work and moving on to a career. And at this point in time, we're also riding, having her in a halter and the reins. And in this one, we had the halter was still a little bit loose because it was kind of in your casual everyday use. And it gets a little itchy on her nose and she rubs it a little bit. So we kind of, in the next one, we brought the holes up. So it was just sat a little bit higher on her nose. But we eventually, we want her to be a show hunter. She's bred for that. She has a talent for that. And if it is something that she agrees with, then we can prepare her for that and have her actually enjoy the showing process, which I'm confident we can. We want to take her there. So at that point, she will need to ride in a bridle in a bit. But for this point in time, she has a ton of stuff to learn that is very much, there's a little bit of confusion. And I love this part because as she had a little bit of confusion, Jessie could help to clear that up so it didn't turn to frustration. She then was looking up to me, the rider, and I'd fed her, and then we kind of made a decision. Okay, let's do it. And there we go. She trotted. So we made a decision. And for that first trot, boy, I'm all over the map. For that first trot, we don't want to do too much because we don't know where she's going to go. That's a big step. And right there behind her was a little bit of herd stuff going on where her herd mates were fussing, and she didn't respond to that. She still stayed focused and stayed disengaged from that. So I love that she trotted. That could be a big moment. She stayed focused. She stayed focused through the herd kind of being, you know, having their own little antics go on. And I love that Jessie could step in and help bring clarity and not let it turn to frustration. And so that was the great thing about having the ground support, having the target on the ground can bring that clarity into the picture for her. I think we have another moment of that coming up, perhaps. But anyway, she will be in a, you know, she will wear a bridle and need to wear a bit at one point in time. But we want to teach her as much as we can before that without using the bit and the bridle. By the time we get there, we can have a lot more clarity and she knows the pieces instead of it being something we rely on for training. It's just a piece of equipment that is a little bit more of an incidental used for the, you know, the showing process. And she has a baby mouth and baby teeth. She doesn't need to have extra things in there that are, you know, adding any type of aversive to her. So we want her to first figure it out and sort those pieces out and just show us that she gets it. She's just ignoring that target. So I do use, it's the very beginning of me starting to open that rein a little bit and saying, hey, can we get to this other side? And to help give her a little clarity to get her over to looking at the target. And then she goes there. So this is when we started to use it. Now, you can see she starts to get a little focused on me going, oh, wait, my rider, are you going to feed me? Because you feed me from up there a lot. So we kind of make a decision again to say, let's get her just thinking about Jessie for now. We'll incorporate more of me later. So she's looking at me. And then Jessie, what I loved, stayed back and presented the target and said, can you focus? And got closer and closer and closer. So gave her a chance to think about it, but then kept backing up to figure out how can I help you to get the right answer, to minimize that frustration, to minimize the wrong answers. So that was fabulous. And this is really a combination of using the, again, there's more little antics behind her with her herd. But this is a combination of using the ground person and transitioning from, you know, the groundwork to the ridden work. And it's really important how much this groundwork can help the ridden work to be relaxed, focused, calm, clear. And then we kind of start eventually doing a little bit more with the rider and transitioning up till the till it's paying more attention to the rider, and we fade Jessie, the ground person, out. But for now, it helps minimize the nervousness, the frustration, the worry, the uncertainty. We bring familiar elements, familiar exercises into play to create great ridden work or great ridden transition for her. And I love that she kind of then started, she didn't trot with her head down all that much, but I loved as she was following the target, she actually lowered her head to follow the target and trotted with her head a little bit lower. So again, it's a way that we can help create that. You can see I get off of her very carefully and thoughtfully, and it just, she's been great with it. I've leaned all over her butt and everything, and she's been good with it. But again, just trying to be thoughtful of those different pieces. So that was fabulous. So that was ride number 2.